When it comes to self-compassion and cutting myself some slack, sometimes I feel like I'm playing a giant game of whack-a-mole with myself. Sometimes I'm the hammer and sometimes I'm the mole. What the heck am I talking about? Well, what would you call it? When you muster up a little courage, a little hope, a little faith, you push yourself to crawl out of your hole and you try. You're trying to be kinder to yourself and it feels good, like you're finally seeing the light of day. And then, wham! The hammer, the self-doubt, the self-loathing, the voice that criticizes and belittles and feeds the fear. That hammer comes down hard and you're right back where you started. You know what I'm talking about. Stay, because we're going to talk about what actually happens in those moments when you finally muster up the courage to get up, and what to do when the hammer inevitably comes back down. Because here's what I know for sure. What happens in those moments when I do get up, it's absolutely worth it. I'm Caroline, and I'm right here in the middle of this midlife stuff with you. Let's talk. First, let's talk about what this actually looks like in real life. So for example, you might have watched Sunday's video about self-compassion and thought, okay, I get it, be kinder to yourself. And maybe you even tried it, and maybe it even worked for a minute or a week. And then somewhere along the line, the hammer came back down. Because here's what the self-compassion conversation often leaves out. It's not a one and done. It's not a switch you flip. And nobody talks about what actually happens when you try to be kinder to yourself and the inner critic shows up anyway. That's the real conversation. And it looks a lot like a giant game of whack-a-mole. I have a good day. I give myself grace. I feel hopeful. And then something happens, a rejection letter, a bill I can't pay off, a conversation that goes sideways, a moment where I fall short of my own expectations, and the hammer is back. Like it never left. Like all that work meant nothing. And here's the really insidious part. When the hammer comes down after you've been working on self-compassion, it brings a friend. And then now it becomes not just you're not enough, it's you can't even do this right. You can't even be kind to yourself properly. What is wrong with you? It turns self-compassion into another thing to fail at, another thing to beat yourself up with. And that is exhausting and discouraging. And it makes you want to give up on the whole thing altogether. But here's what I want you to know. That experience, that's not proof that you're doing it wrong. That's just proof that you're human. And that the voice that you're fighting has had a very, very long time to get very good at its job. This is not a one and done. This is just practice. And some days the practice is harder than others. And that's okay. But thank heavens that you and I are resilient enough to keep trying. Sometimes it takes us a bit to get here. I mean, we're in midlife, and like I've been talking about in all of my videos so far, life has handed us a load that is complicated, and maybe we've taken a giant hit to our confidence, but you're here watching this video, and I made this video, so we are trying. We're that cute little mole sticking our heads out to see if it's safe. And in those moments when I choose not to believe the hammer, when I muster up the courage to ignore the nagging and push back on the criticism, and I say, no, not today, I'm not doing this today, something happens. Hope returns, not in a dramatic way, not like a movie moment where the music swells and everything becomes clear, just a quiet shift, like a window opening, like a little bit of air getting in. And I start to see possibilities. Things that felt completely out of reach start to feel like maybe, just maybe. I feel excited, actually excited about what I'm building, about what's coming, about what I might be capable of. And joy returns. And I don't use that word lightly because joy has been really hard for me to find these past 3 years. But in those moments when the hammer stays down, joy comes back. And I think this is it. This is what it feels like to actually be on my own side. And it is everything. Unfortunately for me, it doesn't last as long as I want it to. These past 3 years have been very, very hard on me and my sense of self. The hammer finds its way back often. And sometimes it feels like I'm using 2 hammers and I enlisted the help of someone else to keep hitting those little moles of hope and self-love down. But those moments of clarity and relief, they remind me of what I'm fighting for. They remind me that the woman I'm becoming is worth defending. And they keep me getting back up. And here's what I've noticed. The The more that I get back up, the longer I am able to stay up. It's slow, it's not dramatic, but it's real. Each time I choose to not believe the hammer, to not let it smack me down, each time I push back and stay in the light a little longer, that muscle gets stronger. The hammer, the self-doubt, the self-criticism still comes, but I'm getting faster at recognizing it, and the time between getting knocked down and getting back up is getting shorter. And that is progress. That is real progress, even when it doesn't feel like it. So what's actually happening in those moments when the hammer stays down? Remember what we've talked about in this series about how we have been on survival mode. Our nervous system has been running on high alert, scanning for threats, keeping you and I in survival mode. And we established that one of the biggest sources of that threat signal is your own inner critic. So when you put the hammer down, even briefly, something shifts in your nervous system. The threat signal quiets. And in that quiet, things that survival mode was blocking start to become accessible again. Because here's what survival mode does. It narrows your focus to just getting through, to surviving. It shuts down the parts of your brain responsible for creativity, for hope, for joy, and for possibility. Not because those things are gone, but because your nervous system doesn't have the bandwidth for them when it's running on emergency power. But the moment you give yourself grace, the moment that you choose not to believe the hammer, your nervous system gets a signal. It's safe. Stand down. It's okay. And in that moment of safety, even if it's a brief one, the light gets in, the hope comes back, the joy comes back, the possibilities start to feel real again. They were never gone. They were just waiting for you to feel safe enough to let them in. That's not a coincidence. That is your nervous system finally getting a break from fighting itself. And that is what self-compassion actually does. Not just emotionally, but physiologically. In your body, in your brain, in your nervous system. Now I want to share something personal, and I want to be clear, this is my experience, my source. You don't have to share my beliefs for this. My faith is what gets me back up. In those moments when the hammer has come down and I'm flat on the ground and I don't have anything left, it's my belief that God wants my happiness, that He wants my success, that He is not up there keeping score of my failures and finding me lacking. That He is right here fighting with me, not watching from a distance, not waiting for me to get it together before He shows up, right here in this mess, in the struggle, in the whack-a-mole, right here with me. And that belief that I'm not alone in this, that there is something bigger than me that is for me, that's on my side, that's what makes me get up every single time. Even when I'm tired, even when the hammer has been coming down a lot, even when I wonder if I'm ever going to get this right, I get up because I believe I was made for more than just survival mode. I believe that joy returning, real joy, deep joy, is not just possible for me, it's intended for me. I believe that joy is my birthright, and what I'm doing now is showing up and claiming it as my own. And I believe that the same is true for you. So whatever your source is, faith, love, a deep knowing that you are meant for more than this, hold on to it. Because on the days when the hammer comes down hardest, that source is what gets you back up. And getting back up is everything. Here's where I am right now. I want to be honest about this because I think it matters. I'm not on the other side of this. I haven't figured it all out. The hammer still comes down, and sometimes a lot. What I'm actively, consciously working on every single day is stopping the urge to bring the hammer down on myself in the first place. Because I've noticed sometimes I'm the one who is picking the hammer up, not just falling victim to it, but I'm actually reaching for it myself. Like there's something in me that thinks I need to be kept in check. That if I'm too hopeful or too excited or feel too good about where I'm going, something bad is going to happen. Like the hammer is a kind of a protection. If I knock myself down first, then nobody else can. Does that sound familiar? It's a pattern, and patterns don't break overnight. But I'm getting better at catching it, at noticing the moment I reach for the hammer and asking myself, wait, do I actually need this? Is this serving me? Or am I just so used to this that it feels normal? And more, I'm choosing to put it down before it lands, or I'm choosing to not even pick it up in the first place. That's the work. Not eliminating the voice entirely. I'm not even sure that that's realistic, but just getting faster at recognizing it, getting better at choosing differently, building the muscle one rep at a time. It's slow, it's imperfect, and it's the most important work that I've ever done. So this week, I want to invite you that the next time that you feel the hammer is coming, and you will feel it coming, there's usually a split second before it lands. I want you to try one thing. Pause, just one breath, and ask yourself one question. Would I say this to someone I love? That's it. That's the whole interruption. Not a long meditation, not a journaling session, not a whole self-compassion practice, just one breath, one question. Would I say this to someone I love? And if the answer is no, and it most always will be no, then you have a choice. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to act on it. You can just notice it, name it, and choose not to give it the authority it's asking for. You might not be able to stop it from showing up, but you sure as heck can stop it from running the show. That one breath, that one question, that one moment of choosing differently, that's the mole getting back up, searching for the light and choosing to stay there as long as it can. And the more you do it, the longer you stay up. Until staying up, staying in the light becomes the norm. We just have to remember that that happens one rep at a time. If you're ready to go deeper right now into the work that we've been talking about, when life feels like too much, the journal is waiting for you at joyreturning.com. That's where we do this work together, step by step, page by page, at your pace. This video is video 8 in our survival mode series, and it's the last one before we wrap up. We have covered a lot of ground in this series. Survival mode, the nervous system, the mental load, the thoughts, the identity shift, the inner critic, self-compassion. Come back for the next video because that's where we bring it all together, the whole series, where we've been, what we've learned, and where we go from here. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the wrap up, and leave a comment. What do you do to stop the hammer from coming down? We can learn a lot from each other. I see you. I'm right here with you. I'm doing this work right alongside you. I'll see you soon.